just messed up. Hello, everybody. Bear with.
Skype now as well.
Mark, I take it back. Ours looks very professional.
I know, there's a bit of Skype coming in there as well and everything. Look at that.
It's funny.
Okay, I'm next level now compared to this. Oh no, we've lost his audio again.
Oh, God.
Oh no, it's not. It's back. You're back. You're okay.
We are going to be starting in a second. I just need to get the little video thing going. It's professional as always. Is it this one?
Have we got anybody left?
Hey! We made it. Sorry about that. Professional as always. Hopefully we didn't say anything that we didn't want to say, but we're just talking about t-shirts, weren't we, guys?
Yeah.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Niche Lifestyle Show. It's just me and the guys hanging out talking about niche website stuff. Today we're going to be talking about the essential skills that a niche website owner needs. But before we get on to that, let's see what we got in the chat. You saw my professional intro there. I'm still figuring out how to use Ecamm. I've only been using it for over a year. These things take time. I think essential skill is to actually be able to learn new skills, isn't it?
Yeah.
But anyway, can everyone just say hello? Make sure the sound's all right. Doug, Adam, and Mark, say hello.
Hello, hello.
Hey, what's happening? Good morning.
Sounds
All
good
at the
to
same
me.
time.
Perfect. So, do you want to, before I go to some hellos, what have you guys been up to this week? Anything exciting, Doug?
Yeah, I don't know how you guys brush your teeth, but I got an electric toothbrush and it is absolutely crazy. It's so powerful. I started
Doug, is this
crying. Like
the
it was
pinnacle?
vibrating my whole brain. And I'm not sure if I'm doing it wrong or if it's just really strong, but
You're not supposed to go in your
working
mouth,
through it.
right?
yeah, it was my mouth. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
But it's just so powerful. I don't know you guys next week to let you know how it's going. I'm getting a little bit better, but I mean, it's tough. It is tough.
You've
But I
only
don't
just
think
discovered an
it's
electric
really-
toothbrush. Wow. We've had it
Electronic
for
Arts
years.
sums it up by saying, "Are we in 2003?" I think if this is new for you, Doug, then yeah, you're stuck in 2003, basically.
I agree. Yeah, I'm an old soul. I mean, my teeth are fine. Like everything's been fine for the last, all the years that I've been alive with my teeth. And yeah, my wife really liked hers, so it's like, all right, I'll give it a shot. But yeah, it's just been super intense. So do you guys all use electric toothbrushes then?
Yeah, surprisingly. I know the British are famous for terrible teeth, but yeah, we have had them for a while.
No, you guys got great
Dentists
teeth.
kind of really push them these days. Like if you go to the dentist, they're always talking about getting an electric toothbrush. So I think you.
Hang on a second, Chase. $20 super chat from Chase there. I think that's the first top one we've ever had on the Niche Lifestyle Show.
Nice.
Hey,
All right.
Chase.
Yeah.
Thanks, Jason.
So anyway, otherwise things are great. Yeah.
Good. So the biggest thing this week is an electric toothbrush. Wow. Not much going on this week then, Doug. Adam and Mark, have you got something else that's maybe a little bit more exciting than a toothbrush?
I have. I'm going to see Craig David tonight in concert. Remember Craig David?
I remember him. I love him. Is he going to be doing the old stuff, the 7 days, and the other ones?
Yeah, massive fan. Yeah. This is the second time I've seen him, and he's amazing. Like the first half, he does all his old songs, and then the second half, he just spends it DJing and rapping over other people's songs, and it's like a proper party. It was awesome the first time, so I'm hoping this is going to be the same again.
I wouldn't have put you down as a big Craig David fan, but hey, you learn something every day.
More like a Taylor Swift fan, would you say?
I don't know.
Like he's number one, so like, I wouldn't expect that either.
My music taste really is so random, but I love a bit of Craig David.
Will he do the one he did with Arthur Dodger, the first one, the Bo Selector one?
I hope so.
Yeah. He's got
Yeah, I don't know.
that. I mean, I can't get my earpods going, so I'm just going to have you in the background. Hopefully there's no echo. At Apple, it just works. Sometimes. Isn't that what people used to say about Apple? It just works.
Yeah.
Anyway, Mark, have you got anything exciting this week?
No, it was Easter, wasn't it? So we had Easter, a chocolate.
Just been eating chocolate, okay.
Did a lot of things with kids. My wife took my son go-karting. I took my daughter to Go Ape. If you don't know what Go Ape is.
Go Ape, where you go up in the trees on ropes and stuff, yeah?
Yeah. So she's 5 and she's fearless. So she just got hooked up and then just literally ran across the obstacles and didn't mind if she fell. And she was just like hanging, going, woo, yeah. And I was like crawling along, shitting myself basically as a behind her. So she was constantly waiting for me to catch up. She literally just ran. I said, right, now you can go. And she just saw that as a sign to run. So yeah, she did that. Went to a Steam fair, which is like a traditional phone fair run on Steam, which was pretty good.
I love a Steam fair. Was there one of those big things, the like attraction engine with all the music and stuff played by Steam? Do you have them?
Yeah. None of the musical instruments, but no Steam instruments. But yeah, so I did all that. I'm paying the price now for going out into the world and seeing people, and I've got a cold. So
viruses are out there. That's the thing. Don't go out there. There's too many viruses. No, do go out there. It's fine. Don't worry. Just wash your hands. Don't touch your face. Isn't it? That's what we learned from the last 2 years.
what about you, Alex? What have you been up to? The beach?
What have I been up to? I have. Well, you guys saw. In fact, I've been waiting for Mark and Adam to tell me which one of my 2 articles was created with artificial intelligence assistance. I put this t-shirt on especially for Doug. Yeah, because the results are quite interesting. I'm not going to reveal the actual result yet because I'm going to do a video on it. But I know Doug took a look and a lot of my audience did as well. And it's been a lot of debate about who can spot the AI. And in fact, I came across a tool by, I think it's Face Huggers or Hugging Face. Have you heard of them guys?
Yeah.
They've got this tool that allegedly can detect AI content. I've been testing it out, and it's been getting most things wrong most of the time. It's based on the GPT-2. Is it GPT? I think it is technology. So it's not very good at detecting GPT-3, and it also detected some of my human written stuff as AI. I don't know what that says about my writing.
Did you use Grammarly on that, Alex? Because I've also heard that these tools that can pick it up, if you use Grammarly, for example, to edit it, then it shows that as like a false flag. Because
I don't know. But that's an interesting question. Is using Grammarly using AI?
Yeah, who knows?
Kind of is, isn't it?
Yeah, maybe.
Using a spell check, that's computer assistance. I don't know. I don't know,
Alex,
but
was
the
I
feeling I'm
correct
getting in the
when
conclusion
got
that I
back
think
to
I'm
you?
going to draw, the video's coming this week. I'm just waiting because I'm trying out some thumbnail designers on Fiverr as well, which is quite exciting. I always love ordering stuff from Fiverr. You never quite know what you're going to get back. It's always a surprise, isn't it?
Talking about designs, did you see that other AI that someone's brought out which can generate images?
I can. Well, in fact, Jasper, I've already started creating a service on that. And I asked them to, Dave, the CEO of Jasper, was playing around with it the other day. And I asked him to AI create a picture of an eagle creating a website. Because I thought maybe I could get a new logo. And it wasn't too bad. It was a 3D render, which is not what I wanted. But it can do cartoons and everything. I'm just thinking, wow, AI images? Soon we're not going to need to do any work.
Oh, Chase has done another super chat, which is one interesting one there for you.
Yeah, don't.
You
We haven't
take that.
got any
We had
agreement,
this
by the way. I
spud
split it, by the way. I'm not
content,
splitting all these super chats.
Spun content with AI versus human rewriting content. Doesn't it all end up being similar?
Yeah. And I think, I don't know about you, Doug, and this is probably a question for you, Doug, because I know that you're very wary of the AI tools. How on earth can you tell if, for example, you're hiring writers and they're using AI tools? Because you could be publishing AI content to your site without even knowing.
That is a great question, and I think a lot of people are probably doing that. So I go to places like niche website builders. So I assume that they are hiring writers. They say they have hundreds of them, I think. But I did have an interesting
Sorry,
conversation
bots.
with.
Yeah, we've got bots, not writers.
I haven't published this video yet, but I talked to Ariel Phoenix, who I think we all know, and
Yeah.
she's a big proponent, and she explained how she uses it and how basically I should reframe how I think about AI, because like what Chase said, or the test that you did, Alex, like you said, it was a relatively cheap writer versus an AI tool. So I think it depends on what we're trying to do. And at some point I'm like, okay, if we rearrange the parameters and you're trying to do something different and the AI tools are perfect, I mean, I'm not here to judge what anyone is doing. I don't really care what people do, if they want to use an AI tool or not, or use a cheap writer or write it themselves or whatever. So that's all great. And I think it's really important how we define this stuff, because like you're saying, maybe Grammarly, if they give you suggestions on how to change your content to make it
How to
more readable,
rewrite a sentence, rewrite a paragraph.
is that AI? I'm sure. I mean, we could describe it and define it however we want, but
And that's how I think
just
why
depends
it's
on what you're
interesting,
trying to
because obviously a lot of this has come off John Mueller, the Google guy who made a big statement about it on some podcast or something, saying that it would definitely be classed as web spam. It would go against Google Webmaster Console. But has he actually defined clearly in his mind what he thinks an AI bit of content is? I don't know.
Right.
They
Google is sort of in the.
Then they update the rules as well, or the statement which said AI content's against the rules, and they updated it which said AI content's against the rules if it manipulates the search rankings. So they
What the hell does that
changed
mean?
I don't know. It's so loosely worded.
Yeah.
I didn't know what the first one meant. Never mind the second one, because like you say, how do you define what it is? But
Right.
I don't trust anything that comes out of that John's mouth, to be honest. I think he's just a Google mouthpiece, really. Some of the things he says make sense. Other things he says are just like, there's no way they're doing anything like that at all, and they can't. So I always take what he says with a pinch of salt, to be honest.
Yeah, I he's no Matt Cutts, is he? What happened to Matt Cutts? What did they do with him? They cut him?
He was a bot. He was an AI bot, Matt was. They
had to retire him. Like his battery is no serviceable parts. So I guess like an iPhone. After a while, you just have to get rid of it.
Matt was GTP2, and John Miller is GPT3 now, the updated version.
I think I like the old one. Anyway, so today we're going to be talking about, so that's what's going on. But by the way, just before we finish that, there is still time to vote on which of my articles you think is written by a cheap writer and which is written by AI. Just go to the community tab on this very channel, WP Eagle, and you'll see the poll in there, and do choose one. Alternatively, you can find the poll in the WP Eagle Facebook group, and both polls, although they are separate, they are showing similar numbers. It's about 70-30 towards article A being AI. Daniel has got an interesting point there. Aren't we all trying to manipulate the search rankings to get our content ranked better? Lol. Yeah, I guess we are kind of, Daniel. I mean, there's manipulation and then there's optimization, isn't there? I guess there's a fine line there. No one wants to chime in on that one? Okay, let's move on.
Well, kind of, it's SEO, isn't it? Like, I mean...
Yeah, but when does it stop becoming optimization and then it becomes manipulation?
I think it also depends what you're trying to get out of there, right? Because if you're in this for the long term, you're trying to build a long-term sustainable business, then realistically you should do things right. You probably shouldn't be using AI tools or anything like that, or there should be like a massive level of human intervention if you are going to use those tools. But then you see other people out there spamming 20,000 pages of unedited crap AI content, getting to millions of visits, and then dropping like a stone overnight. So I guess it depends what you want out of this. Do you want a 3 to 6 month short-term win and then be
make the money and run, grab the money and run?
Yeah. Or you're trying to build a long-term business, a long-term asset that you can sell that has value.
Yeah, it's whatever your goals are. But for example, would you say that, doing some outreach and publishing some guest posts, would you say that's manipulation?
I think everything we do is manipulation. If you listen to Google guidelines, they literally say, write content and everything else will happen. We know that's not the case.
Don't try and force anything else.
No, literally don't force links, don't force anything. Don't go to Google Search Console and request the content to be indexed if it's not indexing. Just add more content. They basically just tell you to do
just
the bare
publish,
minimum.
just keep publishing.
Yeah, and we all know that if you do that, then it can work over a long time, like it does. But we're all trying to speed that process up some way, shape, or form, either through link building, through submitting content into Google Search Console to get indexed, like all these other little bits which we always talk about. If you just listen to Google guidelines, I think you'd be stuck at the starting line for a long time.
Yeah. Interestingly, just talking about guest posts and link building. So, because I know that niche website builders offer a fantastic service along those lines. But I purchased some links from the Hoff. Did I tell you about this the other week? I spent $1,000 with the Hoff.
Your experience.
Yeah, I wanted to do a review of them. Had a call with my account manager, and he's kind of requested that I don't share the call on YouTube.
Is that a good or a bad thing?
No, that's a bad thing. They're very cagey. So, for example, they provided me a link from a site which I then found you could buy the same link from. I think it's a site called Guest Post something, Buy Guest Post or something. You could buy the link for $80, and they sold it to me for $500. And he said things like, because they claim to do a manual guest post outreach service, which is what we all really want, isn't it? We want people to do the emails for us and find some proper real sites and try and negotiate a link. Whereas it seems like they say that that's what they do, but then they actually just go and buy the link and then sell it on at a profit. And the two sites that I got the links from looked like they were just link farm kind of sites that had been scooped up when they'd been dropped off for Google and then repurposed and whatever. So that's what we spoke about. And now he's going to get he says he is, get his PR person to have a call with me, and maybe I might be able to record that and broadcast it, but it obviously depends on how well that call goes.
Yeah, it's bad when they get their PR person involved rather than just trying to make you happy as a customer. They're just trying and spin it around with something.
Yeah,
what could they do? Like at this point, just curious. Like, even if they gave you your money back or replaced it, like, is there anything they could do? Because it seems shady, right? Like you failed.
Yeah, they are shady. They've got a satisfaction guarantee, which I have tried to utilize. I've asked them to change one of the links, the one that's like on a website full of gambling and adult stuff, which I didn't particularly like. So we'll see if that works out. I mean, there's nothing wrong with doing a review, is there? I'm not going to like slander them for no reason. Everything's going to be based on evidence. So I don't know. They're just a very popular company in terms of link building and stuff. And, you know, I've used them before. I just want to test them out. So we'll see. But maybe I need to get a legal team.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm also interested to hear your experience just finding, like, navigating their website, because obviously we've looked at them, and I always find their website is horrible to even understand what you're buying. Like, there's so many packages. They've got like all these random names, and then you click on one, and then it gives you 5 other options. Like, it takes me like, I'm like, what am I even buying here? Am I buying a guest post? Is this niche edit? Am I buying one with traffic or not? There's just so many different.
It's confusing. Well, the one I ordered, they got like a mixed package, so they promised like 3,000, a site with 3,000 or so monthly visits and a DR of 30, something like that. But then again, you can never really check those metrics properly. I mean, the DR can easily be manipulated, and you go to SEM Rush or whatever for the visits, and that's not accurate either, is it? I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that's what I've been up to, and it's all good fun. But so let's talk about the subject of today's chat, and that is essential skills that a niche website builder or owner needs. Let's start with Doug on this. What do you think are some useful skills when it comes to setting up and managing and owning niche websites?
So I can't believe you're letting me go first. There's so many things to add in here. So I'm gonna go kind of high level. So there's some core pieces where, sure, you should understand a bit about setting up a website, maybe writing content, a couple things around keyword research or topic research, or however you want to approach it. But I think that when I bump into people who are successful, it's usually consistency and the ability to pivot when they try something that didn't quite work, and just stick with it and try to figure out their issues and problems and why it didn't work. A lot of people are, figuring this out. We see success stories on each of our channels, and it's certainly possible. So I think the key thing is people trying something. Don't get caught up in analysis paralysis where you never take action. Don't keep researching forever. Start moving forward and consistently make progress. Sure, you may have a day that's off. You may have a week or even a month where, you're really off track. Maybe you're too busy with life or something like that. But as long as you come back and you are consistent over, a long period of time, usually people will figure it out. So that's kind of like the starting point. I have some others that are more advanced, which I think we'll probably get to, but I think it's more about mindset, because you could pick, the niche website area, or maybe you start there and then you figure out that you actually are more interested in drop shipping and product development and actually working with physical products. But you could like pull some of those skills over, and some of the ones that would be most useful are the sort of the core mindset and business skills. Yeah,
that's very important, mindset, and just to have this kind of stamina to keep going and not get stuck. I was chatting to a guy earlier. Actually, he messaged me through Facebook, saw one of my videos, came through the collaboration I did with Darryl Wilson actually a long time ago, and he said, I can't get started. I don't know whether to go US or UK, and I've been thinking about this for months, and it's just stopping me from starting. And that can, you said analysis paralysis, which is a great phrase for it. Just pick one and go for it, and just go for it and just see what happens. I said that US probably would be the best place to start because it's bigger and it's easier to find writers and stuff that can write in American English than British English. But it's stuff like that can really stop people from actually going anywhere, isn't it? Just overthinking and overanalyzing things.
Yep.
Okay, Mark.
I mean, for the top ones, I write down the same thing, buddy. Like persistence. Perseverance and resilience, I think. Persistence and resilience. Like, sorry, I need to drink some water because my coffee's like.
Okay, let's. Your coffee, was it a strong one?
No, yeah. So yeah, perseverance is exactly what Doug said, right? Like, I think you can forget everything else if you like. Those are by far like the most key things. Like by having perseverance and resilience, you're going to keep trying to learn. You're going to keep progressing. You're going to keep iterating and doing new things. Everything else is inconsequential at that point. Like if you've got that perseverance and resilience, then you're going to go and learn how to do keyword research. You're going to go and learn a bit of WordPress and how to set up a website. You're gonna learn all those things. Like almost forget everything else once you've got those skills, once you're happy to do those skills, then that's it. It's funny. Adam and I were just talking this week because we say that the most common reason that people fail is because they do give up. They give up too soon. And it's just really common. And we see it even with people that have worked with us. We'll see their site. They spent some money with us. We'll see their site doing well. Like this site's off to a good start. And then, it's heartbreaking to see they just don't continue and like they stop. And we have been talking about, how about look, start reaching out to some of these people a little bit again and just saying, do you want to, this is a good start. Do you want to carry on moving forward? Because maybe people don't realize that they're off to a good start or whatever. But I think a lot of people, I don't know whether it's, they just can't. Yeah. But essentially, giving up too soon is like so many people do it. And it's just, if you kept persisting, you'd get there in the end. And it gets easier over time as well. Like trying to get to the first $100 is way harder than trying to get to the second one or the third one.
For sure, so yeah.
If you get over that first hill, everything else seems a lot easier at that point after that. So.
Yeah. Sam, I do apologise. It was you, that we were talking. I was talking to earlier. You're a lady. It's confusing. A bit like names like Alex and stuff. You're fine if you're a Mark or an Adam. Anyway, Adam, what are your thoughts on this? On the top level skills and mindsets?
Yeah, similar. Obviously, similar to Doug and Mark, but there's one thing which is more of a harder skill, I think, which has made my life so much easier over the last couple of years. And that's knowing Excel. I don't know how much you guys use Excel, but I use Excel in my every single day. And without just basic stuff, and you can do just a basic course on Excel, like without things like SUMIF formulas or VLOOKUP or anything like that, I just find doing any kind of research or merging together keyword research sheets or basically doing any kind of analysis. If you're doing due diligence of a website, maybe you're acquiring one website to merge into another one and you want to analyze, do you have any content that's similar to the other website? Like without doing that in Excel and understanding how to do it at pace, like you could spend all day just doing basic stuff, whereas a formula can save you so much time. So one of my top tips and skills would be to, if you're not comfortable with Excel, like do just a basic course on some of these basic formulas, or even if you don't want to do a course, just like get comfortable with Googling what the formulas are and how to use them and how to make them work. That would be one of my top tips, I think. Top skills.
You love Excel, don't you? I think you talk about Excel nearly every time we have a chat.
No, I love Excel. I'm one of these people that I'll make a spreadsheet, like especially like for the business, and I'll run downstairs and say to my wife, "Come and have a look at the spreadsheet. Like, you've got to see these formulas that I've pulled together now." And she's like, "I don't care. I literally don't do shit." That's me all over.
Wow, you have Excel formula excitement. Wow.
Yeah.
There we go. Okay. Well, my thoughts are just on the top level stuff, exactly what you guys say: persistence, commitment, don't give up too easily. But also, I think you've got to have a belief in yourself that you can learn a new skill. Because I think all of us, when we got into this, had no idea really what we were doing, made up a lot of it as we went along and just learned on the job. In fact, I've done that probably my entire career, I think. I've never done much formal training or anything like that. It's generally learn on the job, and knowing that you can figure stuff out, especially nowadays with the internet. You've got Google there. You can find information and training and stuff fairly easily, fairly quickly, and generally for free. So it's just having that belief, because I meet a lot of people that do what I do, and ask me what I do, and then I tell them and they go, "Oh, I couldn't do that. I don't know how to use a computer," or "I don't know how to make a website," or "I'm too old to learn new skills." I think that's a very limiting mindset, and it's just changing that around and saying, "Okay, I could probably figure this stuff out. I figured stuff out before." It can be kind of empowering.
Yeah. Basically, fake it till you make it, right?
Yeah. I think there's a lot to that, because it's the not knowing how to do something can again stop you from moving forward. I don't know how to make a website, so I'll just stop rather than going, I can figure out how to make a website, and I'll have a go, and if it doesn't work out, I'll work out why it didn't work out, and then I'll change that and move forward.
me and Mark spoke about this before. Having that mindset, and then like when you run a business, like if you think about this as a business, having that mindset changes your life. Like I said to Mark before, going back a couple of years where maybe I didn't have this kind of confidence, the running a business or doing this is kind of instilled. Like I can face any problem in my life now, like business related or outside of business, and think there's a solution and I can overcome that. And it's that mindset. And if you can apply it to your business and you apply it to your life, it does change your life. Like it sounds really far fetched and like out there, changes your life, but it is literally a life changing mindset. Having that, I can do this, I can figure this out. If there's a problem, don't worry about it. Like there's a solution. I'm going to figure it out. And I compare myself sometimes to like maybe some friends and family who don't have that. And like any kind of small setback, any small problem, it's like the end of the world. And I'm just sitting there thinking like, all right, calm down. Like, don't worry about it. There's a problem. There's a solution. They just focus on the problem, not like.
Yeah, and then they get really worked up about it, and then that just makes everyone like really anxious, and no one can move forward. Then they're all paralysed by fear.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I was talking to a guy the other night, and he was a little bit older than me. I mean, maybe 50, and I'm in my 40s, and he was like saying, "Oh, so you do like WordPress stuff?" And I said, "Yeah, kind of WordPress, but it's generally more publishing." And he was like, "Do you think WordPress is going to be like a big thing then?" He said, "Because in my organisation, I've been doing it for years. We use, I think he said Fox Pro. Is that a bit of software that used to be around?"
It has a database, old database.
Yeah, and I was like, "Yeah, I think WordPress is going to be pretty big sometime. It might be worth learning." And he was like, "Oh, is it hard?" I'm like, "No, I can do it, so probably not. Most people can do it. It's fairly easy." But you could see, I think he was probably more scared of change. Just, we've always used this software. I've always worked for this company. I don't want to change anything because of the uncertainty of that. And again, that's just going to paralyze you. And if you don't change and keep up with the world and life around you, then you are going to be getting left behind, I guess.
Yeah, so Fox Pro Fox Pro came out in 1991, and then the last version was in 1994.
So they're using software that's like nearly 20 years, 30, very old, 30 years nearly, isn't it? Jesus.
Yeah.
He's probably doing it on the command line, is he? He's not even got an interface.
You meet a lot of IT people. And yeah. And the people
that'll be with me with Jasper in a few years.
Yeah. Or we'll still be using WordPress, it'll be something else. Okay, so let's drill down a little bit then. So they're the mindset things, and if you've got this mindset that you're going to be persistent, you're going to commit yourself, you're going to be consistent, and you are confident that you're able to figure stuff out and learn new skills, what would be some of those skills? I mean, we mentioned WordPress, for example. I wouldn't say that any of us here are particularly experts on WordPress. From if a proper developer looked at any of us, they'd probably say, "Oh, they don't really know what they're doing. They don't know any code." So yeah, I'm going to put in first that being able to set up a WordPress site is fairly handy skill. But what other kind of more technical or more practical skills would you say would be useful? And any of you can go first. Let's say Adam, maybe.
Yeah. So I think one of the, and you don't have to be good at writing, but one of the skills, especially if you're starting out, is at least to have some kind of desire to do some of your own writing up front. I think we've all pretty much started where we did some of our own writing, like to start with on our first websites. We sat there and we bashed it out in the evenings and the weekends. We've talked about this on our previous streams. And I mean, I'm by far nowhere near any kind of professional type of writer, but the fact that I sat down and went through, writing those first X amount of words, X amount of articles myself, gives you an appreciation for like how it should be structured, what good looks like. And if you're going to scale this as a business, you need to understand what that is or how that works before you can then start employing other people. And also for cash flow, if you don't have a lot of money to start with, and getting comfortable with writing content for your own website is, I think, a good skill to have.
Have you got any tips or examples or experiences on how you improved your writing, or was it just doing it over and over and using tools like Grammarly to get your writing good, or is there something else?
Yeah, I think it's practice. Like, I don't like. I'm not going to profess to say that my writing got massively improved over the time that I spent on my first website. Like, I don't really. If I went back and looked at it now, I'd probably think the content wasn't great. This was years ago, but back then it was a case of looking at what's working for other people's websites. The theory behind it stays the same. What's working for other people's websites, and having that mindset of how can I do this a similar job and make it a little bit better. And that's either making your writing a little bit better or including some additional research or additional topics that's not covered there somewhere. But I wouldn't say my writing as a kind of technical person improved. I wouldn't really know. Yeah, I wouldn't know that. I don't think using Grammarly and using the tools help. But I mean, I'm just because I wrote blog posts for a website is not going to turn me into a university graduate who's done 3 or 4 years of creative writing, for example. I would never be at that level.
But a niche website owner maybe doesn't need that level of writing expertise, do they? They need to be able to put out some good articles and blog posts.
Exactly.
You might have learned how to do more structure around it, how to use title tags.
Yeah, using shorter paragraphs, bullet points, your headings, that kind of thing is all good, isn't it?
Stuff you learn in the early days, yeah.
I guess the other thing to point out as well is that most of us are not in very massively technical spaces either. Like if you just think of like the pet space, for example, is a massive space, and then you write question and answer informational based articles around dogs. You don't need to have a master's degree in creative writing to write can dogs eat strawberries, for example. You just have to be good at researching what the topic should be within that, and then
be able to formulate a couple of sentences about that.
Yeah,
you need a dog and some strawberries.
Yeah, do a video. It sounds like not a good thing to give to a dog.
No, I don't know. And almost the more basic you can write it, the better. I think the shorter the sentences, the more yeah.
Yeah,
have a look at the Hemingway app, and if you can get good scores in the Hemingway app because your short sentences are not complicated and short, then that's better, I think, than a really long, technically correct sentence that maybe doesn't flow right, or I don't know.
Yeah. Let's get a few comments up. We've got one from Bill. A willingness to ask for help, i.e. be pointed in the right direction from those who know to do something. That is certainly a good skill. L Couch is looking for a session on how you use Excel. Adam, I think there might be a new series of videos in that.
Yeah, new service going up tomorrow.
And I bet you could increase your email list by maybe giving out some of your spreadsheets with fancy formulas.
Yeah, that's a good point, actually. Yeah, could make some of those.
Yeah, for sure.
Then you'll have to support the formulas when people break them. So,
well, you could put it with a no support thing on it. So, Doug, we've gone through writing and setting up a WordPress website. What other skills are important?
Yeah, you know what? I'll layer on top of the writing piece. And one thing that helped me, I was going to say, is just have a feedback loop, whether it's you re-editing your own content or having other people give you feedback. That's the way to improve it with most things, is critically look at it and then figure it out. And I think, Adam, implicitly you implied that, which is redundant. The piece that I was going to say is being able to communicate, but specifically so that you can hire people. So at some point you got the basics down, you want to scale in some way. So being able to hire people is really important. So that could come down to the job posting or the onboarding and training. So my previous job was a lot of onboarding and training and hiring people. So it was very natural to put together. I mean, we had some crazy 50-page onboarding document, and it grew bigger and bigger to the point where it was almost unusable. So I trimmed it down, but it was very straightforward to hire a writer and have 3 or 4 pages of the style guideline. Here's how the system works. And then continually back to the feedback point, whenever I had a new person that I hired, I would try to get feedback from them. If there was anything confusing, if they had questions, I tried to figure out where the holes in the document were in the job aid so that I could fix it. And then by the end, you have 20 or 30 people go through asking about different pieces, everything sort of gets fixed up. So being able to do that, again, sort of translates to whatever other thing you want to do. if you're not hiring writers, maybe you're hiring a general manager to run one of your sites. You use the same exact skills, it's just different specifics. So super important to communicate clearly, and then have like a variety of people be able to use that piece of content, whether it's a job aid or something that, you know, someone's reading on your site, to use that and understand what you're trying to tell them.
It makes perfect sense. And obviously, in this business, you're often dealing with people that are in different countries. They may, you know, be slight language things, or their English might not be quite as good. But Doug, you've got a lot of experience with kind of managing people and getting projects done, aren't you? And that's an area that I'm not very good at in terms of project managing. Is there any tools or tips you've got in terms of managing stuff like that and managing, you know, bigger projects?
Sure. So the tools specifically don't matter. So you can use, I like Trello for like sort of content management, but you could use a spreadsheet like Excel is great, or I use Google Sheets. I don't have any Microsoft stuff, but same idea. I know they're different, Adam. I know they're different, but generally you could do the same stuff.
Yeah.
And the simplest tool that you can use to manage a project is the one you should use. You don't need anything complicated, especially if you're like bringing outside people in. You don't want to have to train them on some tool, and they may leave in a few weeks. So if you just have a spreadsheet, it's much easier. The other part is around estimating how much time something will take and how much work it'll take. So usually when you approach a project, you're just trying to get in the right magnitude. So I think kind of the ballpark is to get within like minus 50% to like 150%. Once you get started, like you'll understand how far off you are and you can narrow it down. But we're really bad at estimating time. Usually things are going to take much longer than we think, like 2 to 3 times as long. So you, like, once you figure that out, things are a little less stressful and you're like, well, it's going to take a long time. It's going to be more complex than I thought it was. And then you could adjust from there. But if you're thinking, and a lot of people are, you know, we're in a hurry, right? So if you're thinking, hey, it's going to take me 2 hours to set up WordPress and get a couple things done, and then the first thing you run into is like issues with your credentials to log in, and like you burn 45 minutes, like all of a sudden you're like spiraling out of control. So if you just expect things to take much longer than they should, you'll feel better.
That's a great, it reduces the stress and the anxiety. You're absolutely right. People set deadlines that are unachievable, and that adds this layer of stress. Then, we're running behind. We're not going to do it on time. Well, yeah, we set the wrong deadline. That was all.
Just low expectations all around.
Under promise, over deliver. That was always the philosophy that we had when we were selling stuff. You know, you say it's going to take 6 weeks, deliver it in 4 weeks. Everyone's happy. You say it's going to take 4 weeks, you deliver it in 6 weeks. You know, the thing's a disaster.
It's like the toothbrush I got. I thought it was just going to like vibrate a little bit. It's like putting a jackhammer in my mouth with some tough bristles in there.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know.
For like a full 2 minutes.
Yeah. Crazy.
All right, Mark.
Just to extend on Doug's thing about project management, and like I think one of the key things is like, you know, how do you get people up to speed quick, and how do you make sure they're doing it right? And I think one of the best things that I do, and we do actually as a business at Niche Website Builders, is that we have lots of standard operating procedures. So essentially, what that means is we'll record a Loom video of how we're doing something. So we're actually doing some work at the time. It's not costing us any more time. We're just recording it. And I generally bring the person that writes our standard operating procedures onto the call, and I go through the whole thing with them, record it. They write it up into a document, put the video in at the top. So any new person that comes into the team, you can just, rather than having to train them up or, you know, project manage them or whatever, you know, if you're building a writing team or whatever for your portfolio, then, or you're one, you know, as happens all the time on Upwork, you'll find someone good for a couple of weeks and then they'll disappear off the face of the earth and you'll never hear from them again. And then you've got to train them all over again. Now you can just send them that document. They'll learn how to do it. They can follow it again as a guideline to know how to do it right. And get like really up to, and that just, that amount of time that saves you like over the long run is just like incredible. Like getting people up to speed and then getting them doing it right is I think it's just huge in terms of like
It's key, and
project
video
management
is
and-
definitely a huge tool in that. You say you can. It's so easy to record stuff as you do it now, isn't it?
Uh-huh.
Just to tack something on the end there as well. So once you've got that and you can bring them up to speed nice and quick. The other thing which I think is really important is measuring like their efficiency and output. So it's great to give someone the SOP and then this is the work, this is the way it should be done. But you then got to make sure that what you've showed them is getting done correctly, and that comes down to like some kind of quality control and some kind of measurement. I think back to the one of our first years or our first year of business where we were one of our VAs in Philippines, one of our kind of mailbox managers who look after our link building mailboxes. We hired a new lady to join that team, and it came to the end of the month and we were like, okay, so like where's your report for everything you've done? She said, oh no, I've been working in the hospital this month. Turns out she was also a full-time nurse. So like, unless you'd measured her output and measured her
So
specifically,
she done nothing for you.
oh, very little, yeah. And we were like, what do you mean you're a full-time nurse? You're a full-time niche website builder's employee. How does that work? And she said, oh no, I can do them at the same time, but I've been working overtime in the hospital. I'm like, yeah, that's not going to
That's
work.
not doing it at the same time, then, is it?
Yeah.
No, so just having something measurable. And we also find that helps with kind of like morale and people understanding that they're doing a good job, because it's great to give them the SOP and the target, the job to do and some targets, etc. But unless they've got like a defined outcome of this is doing well, this is needs improving, or this is you're exceeding, like it's really hard then to go back and say to someone, well, you're not doing the job that I hoped you would, or you're doing a really good job and show praise. So as well as giving them the SOPs and the structure to do the work, also give them the framework to understand if they're doing a good job for both of you. So you can see if they're doing a good job, and for them to understand if they're doing a good job or where they can improve on.
Makes perfect sense. So let's go for a couple of questions from the chat. We've got about 10 minutes left. We're up to 45 likes, 5 more likes, and then we'll do a giveaway. I got some WP Eagle merch available. Question from Blazo N. Have any of you tested a website build with a CMS that is not WordPress? And if you did it make a difference in your Google rankings? Any of you guys? No.
Never done it, and I don't know if this is part of it or not, but I see websites for sale sometimes that are not built on WordPress CMS, and I instantly avoid them because it's out. It's almost the opposite of what we talked about at the start, a willingness to learn something new. I don't want to learn anything new outside of WordPress. So
no, I don't think you need to, do you? There's no need to. You learn, the skill is being able to set up a website. Once you've done that, you don't need to learn that again.
Yeah,
I don't think it makes a difference, to be honest, though, if you do know it, because at least all modern CMSs will have everything you need to be able to rank a website. Like I used to have an agency where we used to do Umbraco development. So Umbraco is a CMS that's not the WordPress, but it was like the most popular open source one on the Microsoft platform. It's fine, like you can do header tags. It's got a header, it's got a footer. You can do headings. Like it's not going to affect your ability to rank.
No, I don't think so.
A really old thing like Foxborough or something, maybe.
Foxborough still could rank it, but I don't think Google has got any preference over the CMS that you use. As long as your site is fast and well structured, it should be fine.
Yeah.
Knowing how to balance your time is important, says Fred the Red. That's, I think, a very important point, because it's very easy when you work for yourself to get distracted by the small stuff, isn't it? That's not really making much of a difference to your destiny. Knowing how to balance your time is important. Have you got any tips on how to do that, Doug? How do you focus on the stuff that's going to make a difference?
The most important thing is figuring out the things you shouldn't be doing. Okay. And there's a lot of stuff that's really like you think is important, but you probably should just table it for the time being.
Yeah, there's stuff that can keep you busy, but you're not actually moving forward, really.
Yeah, exactly. Plus, I mean, the other thing is I talk to, a lot of people will have several websites, like they started all of them at the same time, several websites, and they are making such little progress on each of them that it's kind of a joke. Like it's never going to work out. And then the other piece is like people will have multiple different projects. So it's one thing to have like different niche sites, but people will have a YouTube channel. They'll try to do drop shipping. They'll try to do a podcast and a niche site and some other thing. And it's like, again, they're making almost no progress. So if you could do all those things. I'm not saying you can't, but you can't do them all at once, especially if you're trying to learn. So you're just going to have to prioritize some stuff, and then some things you're going to have to get rid of. It's really hard to do because some of those things you're going to be really excited about, but there's only so much time in the day, and you'll have to figure out like, okay, I need to spend time with my family and I want to work on my projects. So I only have 2 hours a day. What are you going to work on? If you're working on 10 things, you're going to make no progress. You're going to be frustrated. I know everyone thinks they're like a special snowflake and they can work a little faster and harder. You can't. You can only do so many things.
Pick one, focus. So focus is a key skill. If you can get it back. So how do you pick whatever you want to do? Do you just go by the stuff that you enjoy or the stuff that you think is going to be most profitable? How do you pick what you're going to work on? Because a lot of those things you mentioned, I think you've got a YouTube channel, a podcast, and some niche websites and some other stuff. How do you decide which one of them is going to get your time?
Yeah, right now, fun. Usually it's fun stuff.
The ones you enjoy, the stuff you enjoy doing.
Yeah. Yep. But, there's some balance between like enjoyability and profitability. So there were a couple things that I tested early on, actually an agency, similar to what you guys are running. And I was like, this sucks. I hate every piece of it. So I stopped doing it. It was like the most profitable piece of what I was doing, but I stopped and then just did other stuff. And now I aim for, enjoyability.
With a bit of money as well coming in.
Right. But I mean, like at some point, like that matters less and less, but for other people, it may matter more. And they want to earn more and more. So you've got to
figure out what you want out of that time and then choose something that fits that criteria.
A weighted decision matrix. People can check that out.
Sounds good. Let's quickly go through a few more comments and then we'll get to the giveaway. We're up to 54 likes, so we can have a horn. Phil mentions going back to the WordPress or something else. He says there's no real difference and he's got a lot of experience with different websites. Carl says willingness to help too, not just ask for help. Although there is much misinformation out there too. Yes, I'm all for giving help and giving out stuff, and then you shall receive. Thinking like a beginner, says Zach. Experts often make the worst web content writers because they don't connect with the average reader. Going back to what Adam was saying earlier, simplify your writing, keep it really simple. I think the most popular newspaper in the UK is The Sun, and the average reading age of that is like 6 or 7. I think that's maybe a completely incorrect fact, but I know they completely write for the lowest common denominator in terms of people's reading intelligence or reading age. So I think there's something for that. Because at the end of the day, I don't think a lot of people are reading your article from start to finish anyway. They're going to be skimming it and scanning it and checking out the important points. So simplifying your language can really help with that. Hey, here she is. We were talking about you earlier.
All good stuff.
I'm good, Corner Cut. Thanks for asking.
There's a common question there by Sam Bax, like how much content do you all think I should aim for before hitting the publish button on a brand new site? We get that, you see that all the time, because I think there's generally a misconception that you should wait until you've got like 30 posts before you should publish it. The answer is get it published as soon as possible, get it indexed. The sooner you get it indexed, the sooner the site's going to start aging in Google, the sooner you're going to start ranking for anything. So get it. I mean, have a couple of posts, right?
Yeah, I think you need the site to look like it's slightly full. I mean, you don't want like categories with like nothing in. You don't want big spaces on your homepage under the recent posts section or whatever with big gaps. You want enough.
I'm not even bothered about that, to be honest.
You're not too worried about that.
I don't care about the way it looks because like, on day one, no one's coming anyway.
That's true. Just start. Just get it published. Yeah. Don't worry about it. Good tip. Leanne says, God, I hate Umbraco. Umbraco?
Depends on the implementation. Umbraco is like one of those things like you could log into 2 different Umbracos. It's a bit like WordPress. People use different plugins for different stuff. You log into one and you understand it. You log into another one, you go, how the hell have they done this? Because I don't understand it. Same as Umbraco. If you implement it badly, you're going to get bad results and have a bad time.
Quick one. Do you use tags on WordPress sites? Quick one-word answer. Mine is no. Categories are just good enough. They are fine, yeah.
Nope.
Anyone using tags? No. The only time I sometimes use them is just for my own internal notes. Say, for example, I wanted to mark all the content on my site that I created with the help of Jasper. I might tag it so that then I can reference back later. That's all. I don't think they serve a lot of use, really. Okay, you've done that. You all say focus like it's easy. That's a great point, Sam. How do you focus? Because it's all very well saying, yeah, well, just focus. But how do you? Any tips on focus?
I think we talked about this last week, didn't we? Where I think we all said a to-do list and living by a calendar helps us focus on our priorities. So get a to-do list, redo it every day or whatever works for you. But yeah, to-do list and calendar for me.
Close those other browser tabs. Turn off your notifications. Get rid of your phone. Stop looking in your inbox. I'll give you some focus.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you nailed it, Alex. It's like you have to look at whatever your source is, because I could focus pretty well, and I don't think people should do what I do, because I just sit down and do whatever it is I'm going to do. But yeah, like if you get distracted, figure out the sources and then get rid of those.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff in life that's there to distract you. Probably start with your phone.
Still using the nootropics, Doug?
Yeah, I do. Yeah. But not all the time. And I don't think I have a good relationship with the nootropics, since if I don't use them, I can still get stuff done. So I don't want it to ever be like, if I've run out or if I'm like somewhere and I don't have it and I'm like, oh no, like I can't perform without it, So yeah, so far so good. So I only use it maybe like 2 times a week, something like that. Ooh. Except caffeine. I'm on that all day.
What is a nootropic? Was that something you talked about last week with Amy?
No, it's like it's a supplement that basically helps you think or perform mentally. So,
is it a drug?
Have you ever seen the film Limitless with
No.
What's the guy's name?
Funny enough, I haven't seen it, but I've heard it referenced so many times.
It's a great film,
yeah.
But he takes this super strong kind of like nootropic, and then it's a great film. He basically just makes a ton of money and then gets too clever for his own good.
It doesn't end well. Is that what you're saying?
It does. I won't spoil it, but yeah.
Right, we're gonna have to give just a quick couple more questions. Should you write your own content or outsource it? Quick 1-sentence answer from Mark.
Depends if you want to scale up. If you want to scale up, then you need to outsource it because you're only one person, or why not do both?
I think going back to what Adam said earlier, you should definitely start by creating your own content so that you know what you like, what's good content, and you've got an idea of how to structure an article, because that will then allow you to outsource with a bit of clarity. Blazo says, I'm just starting in this space. A lot of the YouTubers that I started following, none of them was recommending link building, but from listening to you guys, you all recommend link building, correct?
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who wasn't recommended? What were these other YouTubers you're watching? Put some names in. Have you guys tried any new WordPress theme? Not really. Just use Popcorn theme. That's all you need. And that actually brings me nicely on to, before we just switch to the giveaway, do you guys have anything you would like to promote? I just said Popcorn theme. Go check it out. It's a lightweight premium WordPress theme designed specifically for affiliate marketeers and niche website owners. You can find it at popcorntheme.com. And as a special gift for you guys watching right now, if you use the code EagleLive, I think that's the right code, you might get a discount. If it doesn't work, drop me an email. Mark, Adam, have you got anything you'd like to quickly push?
Yeah, we've got our event in June, which is a live event, which is around, 12, 13 speakers building, what's it called? Building.empires.live. That's it. Building.empires.live. So Building Empires is the event, and it's all about niche website building. It's a free event. Just go register, and Doug speaking, Alex speaking. I'm sure me and Adam will do something at some point. We've got Income School there. We've got Otis there. We've got a bunch of people there.
Whenever people say Otis, I think of like some Marvel god. Is that Odin?
Odin, yeah.
Yeah.
Doug.
Yeah, I got two things. I'm doing a live stream later today in a couple hours or something. I'm not sure. I've lost track of time. So check that out. And also my course multi-profit site is open for enrollment this week. It closes on Friday. So you could check that out. It takes you start to finish. It goes through the framework of finding a niche, keywords, publishing, setting up your site, scaling, promotion and getting traffic. It monetizes not just with Amazon, but also display ads and other digital products. So yeah, kind of the full suite, and it's open for enrollment until end of day Friday. Multi-profit site.
Okay, go check it out. Well, we have missed a few questions. I do apologise, but we're going to do the giveaway now. So there's a quick couple of tips actually in terms of focus. Stop drinking beer during the day, Alex. I haven't had a beer today. I don't know if you can tell the difference. I haven't had any today. I'm not drinking today. I may have a non-alcoholic one later, but I'm not drinking any alcohol. Everyone in Spain just dies of alcohol poisoning, especially the Brits, so I'm not going to do that. And stop watching YouTube. Well, apart from our stuff, is fine, but everything else, yeah, definitely stop watching it. And quick one from CX Nation. We kind of touched on this earlier. How do you check if your writer's using AI, and do you care if they do? It's very hard to check, and if I've asked them not to use it, then I do care. But generally, if I'm paying a writer, I don't actually want them to write it. Weirdly, I mean, because I can use the AI tool. I don't know where I am with that. I don't know. But we've kind of come to the conclusion it's very difficult to detect whether someone's using AI. And yeah, that's it. So let's put this on. If you'd like to win some WP Eagle merch, just say something in the chat right now. You've got 30 seconds. And we'll just transition. Let's see if it works. We're not stuck. We're here. I was just quickly getting rid of anything that might dox myself on the screen. Right, let's get rid of these names. That was from last night. So you just got to say something in the chat and we will spin the wheel. Now, Reese Williams has just tried to manifest himself the prize. I manifested someone last night. I said, you're definitely going to win, and they did win. So the universe may answer your manifestation. Who knows? May Odin guide the wheel. There we go, getting some gods involved now. Let me just get your names up. You've got 10 more seconds. Say something in the chat. You don't actually have to literally say the word something, but it will work. Where am I going now? Let's get your names up.
As another promotion, we should probably mention that this show is rotates on all of our channels.
Yeah, where is it next week? And what are we talking about?
On Doug's channel next week.
Do we have a topic?
Probably. I think I wrote a few down last time, but I don't remember. Do you guys know what it is?
Bring it up.
I bet Mark does.
Something intriguing, exciting. Updates about brushing my teeth. I stopped crying. That's a pro. First couple days were rough.
Okay.
I floss every day.
Good.
I could keep talking about
dental
dental
hygiene.
habits
I think we could.
as we go. Yeah. Got to floss every day, guys.
You should. I prefer the little interdental brushes actually rather than floss.
Oh yeah, those are good for gum stimulation, right?
Yeah. Exactly. Electronic earnings. No, I don't think mouthwash you can use that now and again. And if you do, you should use the peroxide one. That's the real good stuff. One that kind of
you guys
stings.
know way too much about brushing your teeth and all this kind of stuff.
Yeah, well, it's very important. A happy life starts with a happy mouth or something.
Happy wife, happy life.
That's the one. Anyway, let's spin the wheel. I think I've got on a 30-second spin. Jonathan, good to see you. You were lurking in the background. 70 viewers today. I think this is the best we've had. 70 people watching right now. And the winner looks like it's going to be... Is it Chris? Is it Dan? Dan!
Well done, Dan. Congrats.
Fantastic, Dan. Drop me an email, eagle@wpeagle.com. Take a look over on wpeagle.com, actually, at my merch section. Choose something, let me know your size and your address, and we'll get that out to you, and you can wear it with pride when you next go out with friends and family.
So the show next week on Doug's channel is ways to grow a site. $100 to $1,000 to $10,000.
That sounds exciting.
Okay.
Nice.
So let's finish with another transition, and I'm going to go back over there.
Yeah, I have another call here. So
well, that's
it was
perfect
great
timing
catching
for the
up with
sad
everyone.
music then.
Yeah. Sorry, guys. I got to go. It's good talking
Love
to
you
you
guys.
and everyone in the chat. So we'll catch y'all next week.
Yeah. And catch Doug live in about an hour or so, did you say?
An hour or two.
he's gone.
I think he's gone.
Okay. He always says, he
Let's
seems
get
to have a
changed.
very busy schedule, Doug, doesn't he? He always has to go very quickly.
For a guy that does nothing but do fun stuff, yeah, he's very busy.
Yeah.
Busy-
He's
busy
got
doing fun stuff.
something lined up. Hey, never mind. Well, that was good. Have you guys got something you need to rush off to?
Craig David, obviously.
You've got to go get your Craig David t-shirt on.
I'm going to make a homemade one with a love heart, which says "I love CD" in the middle. So
I think he'll go for that. Hopefully he'll pull you out of the crowd and get you on stage to do a number with him.
fun fact: when I was younger in university, I did actually make a "I love JLS" T-shirt. I went to go to the concert and then realised that my tickets were for the wrong day, so I just went out in town with my "I love JLS" T-shirt on.
JLS, the boy band we're talking about now, yeah?
Yeah. This is my range of music. We go from JLS to Craig David to Taylor
Yeah, I
Swift.
can't imagine there'd be that many blokes at a JLS concert. But maybe that's the perfect place
That's
to go,
why I was
especially if
going
you're
there,
single, yeah.
That's why I was there.
I love the way you didn't try to say like, "Well, I was young." You're like, "Well, that's the range of my music." Still love JS.
You still got them on you're still streaming them on Spotify?
No, not anymore. Nah, they're gone.
Were you a big fan of Blue?
Didn't mind them. They were a bit of Blue, bit of Westlife.
Because just the other day when I was at a restaurant here in Estepona, there is a member of Blue that lives here in Estepona as well, and he was there. I didn't go over and get a selfie, but maybe next time I will. Do you know which member of Blue lives in Spain?
I don't know. I don't care because this is increasing my chances of coming over for a holiday to see you. So
It's Lee!
exponentially.
Lee from Blue. I mean, I prefer Duncan, but Lee's fine. He was always the kind of naughty one, wasn't he?
Did someone from, was it Blue or Westlife, didn't they run over themselves in a freak out?
You're thinking of Brian Harvey from East 17.
Oh, right, okay. I always think back, how did that even happen? It's such a...
Automatic car, no handbrake. I don't know. It can easily happen. Just don't get out of your car with the engine running. And yeah, most cars don't even have handbrakes now, do they?
No.
Anyway, I think that was a great way to end this niche lifestyle show, talking about boy bands. Thank you all for joining us. As I say, we peaked at 70 concurrent viewers, I think, which is a fantastic audience for a Wednesday afternoon.
Yes.
But yeah. Goodbye, Mark.
Thanks for hosting.
Goodbye, Adam. Go and check out their channels and Doug's channel. There is links below. But until next time, I'll be back tomorrow with my usual hanging out, working live stream. And until then, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Let's transition out of it.